Hey folks, how's everybody doing? It's TJ, as you might have guessed. But I have a few life updates, so thought I'd finally make a video and kind of say hi to everybody. It's been a while since I made a video that's actually about what's going on instead of some random favor I'm asking. So it's I don't know, it's 14th of September, and I have been in a new place for just about a month, I guess. Maybe a little less than, but yeah, probably a little less than a month. But I have a new place and I have a new roommate. So I'm actually going to introduce you all, not to my new roommate because she's not here, but if you follow me, I'm going to introduce you to Pito, who is Sharon's little dog, and so I've become kind of like the uncle, I suppose. Pepito, where are you? Where are you, Pepito? There you are. Yep, that's Pepito. He's adorable. Okay, so since I've come out here, I'm gonna show you all our place. So, I guess this is the front door. It's an apartment on the second floor, and this is the living room. These stairs don't actually lead to anywhere because downstairs is an office space. Anyway, this is living room. Lots of games and books over here. Pretty nice, expansive sort of living space. And then got like this cute little reading nook over here. Got a really nice light here. And then got dining area and kitchen space here. One of my favorite things is the fact that we have laundry in the place. And then we have, well, other than the bathroom here, we have my place. So this is my room. This is where I spend a considerable amount of time when I'm not at work. So I have most of my frames up. I don't have as much space here as I did my old apartment, but I get to spend a lot less money on rent. Just fantastic. But yeah, so that's my place. So that's one of the big news stuff. So that's been great. It's been a really, really great arrangement. I think Sharon and I get along pretty well, and I enjoy the place, and I enjoy the fact that I'm not burning through money like a forest fire. The other thing, so the last couple of months, I've actually kind of been a little anxious about this piece. I used to live in Vermont, for folks who don't know, and in Vermont I was able to get a state ID that had M as a gender marker, and that was a learner's permit. So during the summer, when I took some driver's lessons, I was ready to finally take the test. I started looking into getting a Tennessee learner's permit, so then I could get a Tennessee driver's license, take the test and do the driver's license, because my Vermont learner's permit was expiring in right about mid-July. Luckily, like, this was after my trip to California, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to make it. So when all that was happening, I looked into how to get that, and it turns out Tennessee is one of these states that you can't just turn in one state ID and get another. Like, you have to actually apply for a whole entirely new process. They don't accept other state IDs as the only form of identification that you need. Plus, like, why you're living here. But rather you have to provide multiple forms of identification, which, by virtue of the fact that my Vermont ID was the only one that had an M on it, all my other ones have Fs on it, I wouldn't be able to do that. I wouldn't be able to have a Tennessee learner's permit with an M on it. And I wanted to do that because having the M on my past ID has really, really helped in terms of travel, in terms of not having any sort of issues at airports and things like that, because folks don't see the F and doesn't trip them up, and I'm able to fly without having to be too worried about that, and because it matches my external expression and appearance, at least in people's minds. So that worked. It took pretty much 2 months until today to hustle up people that were willing to do this, and luckily I work somewhere that has immigration specialists whose job it is to do this sort of thing and to advocate for their staff. So I definitely my job comes with a lot of privilege in that sense. So if I was any other person having to deal with this and a non-citizen, I don't know what I would have done. I have absolutely no idea. But luckily I was able to have access to this person who helped me find ways and get all the appropriate documentation to maintain the M, right? Like maintain, that's what we're talking about here, not change the gender marker on my ID, but maintain the gender marker on my ID. So I found that I finally have my Tennessee learner's permit, has an M on it, so I can finally book my trip to see my sister and see friends and stuff like that. And to set up the time to take the test, which will be great news for all of my friends who drive me around all over the place. I'll be able to register for a Zipcar, which is one of those programs where you just kind of register for a car that's around and you can go pick it up and drive yourself around. So that's been fantastic, and it took 2 freaking long months of me walking around with an expired ID, which also included at one point getting kicked out of a bar, even though I'm 30, for having an expired ID. So that's that. That's over with, and it's done with, and I'm ecstatic. So those are the couple of life updates, I guess, that I wanted to mention. It's definitely interesting to go through this whole ID process. And I've learned a lot from it. And one of the things that it has really emphasized for me is just how ridiculous this process is, and just how much trans people have to go through in terms of violating privacy matters in terms of our health and our medical histories and all this stuff to get what is an appropriate ID for ourselves. And it's just completely solidified in a very real way for me that when people, whether it's institutions like DMVs or other governmental institutions, or it's just the average person asking about surgery and hormones and that sort of thing, when people ask about if I've done these things or haven't done these things or when, that they're basically asking me to describe myself naked, which it should be a duh statement, but it's inappropriate to ask anybody to describe themselves to you naked, that you just met or don't know, or don't need to know. That's for me to decide who I tell that to. And if I want to tell the world, I should be able to. If I don't want to tell anybody, I should be able to. Anyway, random tangent there. But yeah, thanks again also to all the folks who watched my previous video and have been voting on About.me. I really appreciate it. Thanks for keeping that up and forwarding along the video. I've seen that folks have done that. Thank you. Please share away again. Check out the video if you haven't seen it. I really want to emphasize that I'm looking to just expand on the number of and variety of faces out there that exist of trans men, and understanding obviously that there needs to be an expansion on just trans faces in general, and genderqueer and gender variant and gender non-conforming people in general. So I'm hoping to be a face and a voice, to at least say that, and to expect that of the media and the world around us. But yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry for this super rambly video, but I have a ton to do. I'm trying to get through it today. Take care.